What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Brandon, aka Be Fresh. As you see, this is my new channel. For those who may have followed me back in the past, I used to have a sports site called thefreshreport.net. I mean, it's still up, it's still operating, but I haven't written in a while, at least not on that site. I operate on a couple of different sites at the moment. But I wanted to showcase me in a video format to be able to bring you my sports insight, of course my opinions, all the above, and just a different platform. So as you can see, got my whole setup going. As you see in my About Me, I'm a huge Alabama fan. Got the championship shirt on. It's been a couple years. Looking to make revenge for last year's 1 second debacle. As you see, Deshaun Watson, what he did against us, wasn't like it was anything that anyone couldn't have seen what he's doing, what he was doing before he got hurt in the NFL. But things that you'll probably start to hear from me, you'll hear a lot of Lonzo Ball's progression, what he's going on in the league right now. This being his first year. I'm a big baller brand advocate. Hey, sorry, not sorry. So you definitely get a lot of that from me, and just a lot of different things that's going on in the sports world. I'll touch up on the Tide every now and then, of course. That's my team. Graduate 2007, Roll Tide. But for the first topic, guys, I got to get right into it. It's been something that's been on my mind for a while. Friends of mine who follow me on Facebook. Also, friends and family that I'm close with, we have a lot of conversation about this, and the whole Lonzo Ball and his transition from college into the NBA, it is such a polarizing issue, guys. I'm not sure I've seen anything like this, and I started following him probably somewhere around February, when of course his father LeVar really started making a lot of those bold claims, and I was like, okay, who is this guy? Who's this braggadocious, loudmouth father talking about his son? I knew who Lonzo Ball was because of how UCLA was doing, and they didn't really do much of anything the year before. But I started really watching this game. I'm like, okay, let me see what all the hype is about. I've checked out a couple UCLA games, kind of just, in passing, not really analyzing it that much. And, I really liked this game. I thought he was legit. And then, of course, it was like a snowball effect with all the popularity and the hype and everything, and I kind of started to fall into it myself. And the more I started hearing his dad speak and really started seeing what he was about with the Big Baller brand, I can't lie, I really felt captivated and very intrigued with everything that was going on with that. I'm really a big advocate of doing things on your own, not necessarily falling in line with the status quo, and that's really what Big Baller Brand and what he's instilling in Lonzo and the rest of his kids, to have ownership. But I'll touch on all that in some other videos. You'll definitely hear a lot of my thoughts on that. But in terms of Lonzo and the title of this video, why do I think that Lonzo is going to be a top player, not just like a top 25 or top 50 or whatever player. I'm talking about like top 10 in the league in the next 3 years. And I'm going to tell you why. The first thing is I'm not sure I've seen a 20-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever you want to call it. He came in at 19. I haven't seen someone with the feel of the game the way that he has at this early of an age. I mean, it is so remarkable to watch how he just moves with the ball, has understanding of everything, not just on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. And I think that's where everybody's getting lost so much in the numbers. You really have to understand basketball. You really have to understand the nuances of the game to really see how special Lonzo is. And one of the things that I really look at is when you watch how he plays and just how slow the game seems to be for him, and he's only played 13 games. He just had a triple-double recently, the youngest to have a triple-double, 20 years old, and 15 days or something like that. And the person who had the crown, no pun intended, was the man King James himself, LeBron. I mean, that's not anything to sneeze about. When you look at the guys that are on that list, John Wall's on that list, Magic Johnson's on that list. That's pretty remarkable that he was able to do this so soon. And the funny thing about it was he should have done it in the second game of the season against the Suns. There was a couple of other games that he could have already had a triple-double. But the way that he moves, the way that he passes the ball, it is so uncanny. And people, we're so wrapped up nowadays on the scoring point guards that we don't really take notice of how important it is to understand how to run an offense and passing the ball and just having that feel as a point guard. And you can see it. Those who really watch the game, not all these people that are hating on Zoe are really watching the games. But those who are really watching these Laker games, you're seeing the effect that he has when he's off the court and the effect that he has when he's on the court. I was just watching the game the other night when he had the triple-double. You look at his plus-minus score. I think it was plus 10 for the game. They lost by double digits. But when he's off the court, there's not the movement. There's not the sense of urgency to push the ball and make sure that everybody gets involved the way that he does. I mean, he's not looking to score every time. You look how Jordan Clarkson, when he's running the point, I mean, he'll dribble the ball, for it seems like 15 plus seconds, and before he even thinks about passing the ball, but he's trying to get his own shot. Zoe is not trying to do that. And just having that understanding at 19 and 20 years old, you just don't see that. And that's just, to me, that's just exceptional. So he's only going to get better. He's only going to understand the game even more. And as fast of a pace that he plays now, the game's just going to get even slower and slower. So, I mean, and these are just things you just can't teach. I'm sorry. You just can't teach things like that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, the guy's just a natural leader. And it's so funny when you think about leaders, a lot of times we get so confused with thinking that leaders are those who are so rah-rah and all in your face. He doesn't have to do that. He leads by example. He leads by the things that he says in the media because they're not stupid. They read everything. They see the social media posts. All the reporters, they're not really halfway interested in the other guys on the team. They're only interested in Lonzo and Big Baller Brand, the whole aura that surrounds him. Everybody is so consumed and infatuated by that. And the way that he handles it, people, they're looking at him. Okay, what's he saying? But not just what he's saying, but how is he acting in the locker room? How is he acting in practice? Is he really putting in the work? And based on what we've seen, all those things, he seems to be checking the boxes off with that. But when you try to make sure that everyone gets theirs as a point guard, people respect that. They know that, okay, this is the person that's going to have the ball in their hands. They're going to be able to dictate things. And at such a young age, him being able to orchestrate the pick and roll as well as I've seen 10-year vets do, if not better, to orchestrate the pick and roll and know exactly what to do when the man goes under the screen. Do you pull it out and shoot, or do you kick to the weak side or the strong side, depending on where the action is. Knowing where to hit the roll man, and he just does everything at such a high level so early. And those leadership skills are really, really big time when it comes to that. And that brings me to my last point, and it may even be the biggest point. I mean, depending on how you look at it. The guy's 20 years old. I mean, think about it. The guy's 20 years old. And you listen to his dad, you listen to LeVar, and he's like, oh, well, he's going to end up being 230 pounds. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but he definitely is thicker than what he was back in UCLA. He looked like a string bean. He looked like he hadn't like he's missed a lot of meals. And I'm being sarcastic a little bit, of course, but he was very thin. And he was 18, 19 years old, so I mean, it's not a whole lot to really expect. He's not lifting weights as much as he can while he's having to go to class and having a limited practice schedule. Now as he continues to mature and grow into his body, or get his ball weight, like LeVar says, now you're going to start to see the maturation that which is fitting that Giannis Antetokounmpo had. Go back and look at him a few years ago when he first came into the league, and he always had the nice muscle makeup in terms of his body structure. But look at him now, or look at him then and now look at him now. I'm not saying that Lonzo is going to be a freak athlete like that, but that's basically the expectation. When you come in at 18, 19 like Giannis was, he was probably, I don't know, 210 or so like that, and look at him now, he's probably 240, 250, if not more than that. But he's easily put on 20 to 30 pounds of good muscle and weight. So my expectation is that Zoe will probably put on another 10 to 15, at the very most 20 pounds. I really don't see 230 like LeVar sees. But imagine him being able to absorb more contact, be more confident when he drives to the hole. Because when you're seeing right now, you're seeing someone who doesn't have the confidence because he never had to worry about, especially in high school, he never had to worry about players that were that much bigger than him because he was 6'5", 6'6" in high school. He's a really good athlete for his size as well. So he could finish over people. Now he can't finish over people. He needs to try to finish through people, absorb the contact, get fouled, finish with the and one, but also feel comfortable and confident in doing that. And in his first 13 games, he's done it sparingly. He hasn't done it to the nature that he needs to, like a Russell Westbrook, James Harden, these other point guards that you see that get fouled all the time. So once he starts doing that, oh my gosh, this Laker team. When he gets off the pieces that he really needs to make this team special, you're going to see what the hype was about with Lonzo, and why the pundits and everybody else were so high on him. And if really, when you really understand the game and you really understand what makes basketball players superstars and stars, you'll start to see the reason that people were so high on him. And I think once he gets stronger, he's going to get faster, he's going to get quicker. That's only going to elevate the other things that he does just exceptionally well with passing the ball, just having a very high basketball IQ. And you even seen, like I said, you even seen on the defensive end. I mean, he's already, blocking shots and getting steals. Now, I will say this: I'm not sure if he'll ever be a great on-ball defender, just because of how tall he is, and he doesn't have great lateral movement. That's probably the one of the bigger weaknesses that he does have. But like I said, going back to the feel of the game, those instincts, he just understands his limitations, knows what he can do, and those are just things that you just can't teach. I mean, you can as a coach, you can speak and preach and yell and do whatever you want to these players all day long. But unless they just understand, unless they just know, you're never going to get it all the way into their heads. And he just understands it. He just gets it. So that's the reasons why I believe he's going to just be a special player in this league. And I'm already going to predict in 3 years he's going to be a top 10 player in this league. Say what you want to say. LeBron's going to be phasing out. Some of these other guys are going to be phasing out. And it's going to be the new kids on the block. This 2017 draft class, you're going to see some guys from this class really start to emerge. Ben Simmons wasn't in the class, but he's going to be one of those players as well. But I think with Lonzo, when you start to see his shot start to fall from outside, because he can shoot from outside, we saw it in college. When he learns how to get the mid-range, which I believe he will by year 3. And then when he starts to know how to finish at the hole and get fouled and get to the free throw line, you're talking about a 3-level player offensively, and that's hard. Not just that, but it's the passing skills that he has. So it's hard to stop that. Everybody's going to be scared to guard him close because he's going to go past you. You're going to be scared to guard off him because he's going to shoot over them. And then they're not going to know what he's going to do because he can just see over everybody. He can just pass and hit the open guy. So we haven't really seen a player like this that often. I mean, LeBron kind of comes to mind, but he's such a physical freak that, Zoe is not in that mode, but I'm not going to get in. I don't want to get all the Lonzo, the LeBron guys coming after me for that one, but you understand what I'm saying. But look out for Zoe by year 3. He's already going to you're going to start to see even this year I'm not saying that this past game, this last triple-double, is the coming out game where he finally starts to turn the corner. But he's going to have some games like this where you're going to start to see, okay, he's starting to really understand what he can do, what his strengths are, and how he can start exploiting those even more. And once he does that, I think this Lakers team is really going to turn around. But by year 3, that's the prediction, bold prediction already, coming straight from Fresh's mouth. And that's all I got for today. But definitely check out some more of the content I'm going to have. Like I said, it's going to be, you're going to get an overflow from me about Lonzo, Big Baller Brand, LeVar. But I got some other things I got coming, so just stay tuned. But hit me up on Twitter. I'm going to start my Twitter page. It is at Talking with Fresh. And of course my YouTube channel, Fresh Sports Talk. So get at me, guys. I'm going to be here. Chat with me on Twitter. I'm really going to start to get that page live and everything. I'm probably going to have a Facebook page at some point as well. That's all I got for you. Until next time.